What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So in this week's video, we're going to actually be taking a look at a highly anticipated library from Strezov sampling, called Storm Choir Ultimate. And this is kind of a culmination of like a lot of their choir efforts into this one big product. So instead of kind of doing an entire walkthrough of the library because it's already been done on their channel, I wanted to do another live composition screencast using this library as kind of the lead in the melody. And because it's called Storm Choir, and because the overall sound, has this kind of rustic World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings type of sound to it, almost rustic. I thought it would be really cool if we did a track in that kind of style, so a little more cinematic, kind of with some heavy rhythm on the bottom. Let's see just what happens, okay? So let me just play a little bit of this, and so you can see what the sound is kind of like. So here it is at the lowest dynamic, and when I ride the mod wheel up. So I would say the dynamic range is quite good, you get quite a quiet, soft range there. So it's like an MP, goes to a nice Fortissimo mode there. Now what's really cool about this Ultimate patch, so let me just open this for a second, and you'll see that it has men and women and a performance patch. So I pulled a performance because it combines both the men and women in one patch. And, I can choose the syllables from here if I wanted to. This is the default order they go in, and I can always purge one by just deselecting it like that. But for the purposes of this, I'm not going super in detail, so I can keep them all in. And I've also decided to go with the normal mapping. So in divided, you get the men on this side, their complete range, and then the women on this side in octaves is, they actually sing in octaves. But normal is the one I'm going to go with. So the men have their range here, the extended range, the women have their higher range, and then in the middle they sing together. And then here's just the women, and then here are just the men down there. So let's stick with that, and I'm going to keep all the mic positions on because I want a really full sound. I want the detail, and I also want the room sound. So for this type of thing, I'm thinking F minor, because that's quite a cinematic key in my opinion. And I'm thinking 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So it's definitely going to be faster than 120. Let's go to somewhere like 160 maybe. Let's find out if I'm anywhere close to what I just did. 2, 3, 4. Not bad, not bad. Okay, 150. That's pretty good. Now, you know what? Let's, before we add in the choir, let's have a foundation here. And the library, I think that's quite good for this, is Metropolis Ark 1. Let's go. Let's do the sustains. I was going to do legato, but it's really not that necessary here. And let me just quickly name this. So Ark 1 low strings 8VA. So... and I kind of want this big attack to it. So I wonder if I can, let's see. Actually, it's not that big of a deal because the attack itself is quite strong. I was thinking of an articulation that might be a little more attacked, but... and then I can have that ending there. So let's give this a try. See. So first of all, let me lower this down in the octave. So I kind of want this intro feel. So first I'm going to lower these down. Let's quantize these. So now I'm going to drag this just before the downbeat. 4, 1, 2, 3. You know what? I kind of want to repeat it twice. So I'll actually 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do the same thing. Dun, dun. And then the second time we'll have this short articulation, short-ish sustain, right? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and I'll pull this back just a little bit as well. Now, of course, the click is making it seem like it is falling behind, which it is, but when I take off the click, it'll sound a little bit better. in the pocket. So there we go. Let's have some brass underneath to really, you know, get this going. So I'm going to go with 9 horns here. Now the goal is not realism. The goal is just to get it really super massive. So we have this like, where's my pedal? There it is. Okay, let's do this. And here, let's see. Okay, so they deleted my first one because I played it too early before the beat. So I'm going to copy that. Let's give these all quantized a little bit. Cool. And let's get these back here as well so they align a little bit better. Okay, you know what? I do want some legato trumpet right now, so why don't I do let's do a, oh, you know what? Let's go with Cinnabrass's let's go with the Pro. You know what? No, let's go with the Core. Sorry, let's go with the Core True Ensemble, True Legato, Trumpet Ensemble, True Legato. There we go. So let's mark this down really quickly. Arc 1 horns, 9 sustains, and then here I'll do Cinnabrass, trumpets, legato. Just the general naming so I know what I'm dealing with here and I don't have to go back into Kontakt every single time. There we go. Legato's a little bit louder in my opinion, so I'm going to make the speed a little higher and the intensity a little lower, just like that. So now it's a little bit less noticeable, and I find these MIDI notes are a little bit too delayed. So let's see if that works. C's a little early, so let's take that out. 1, 2. F is super early. Let's do something like that. You know what? The C is a bit early as well, so let's pull that back. But I think the speed could be even faster because this is a cinematic thing and it doesn't need to be as luscious and thick, so I want it to be a little more active. And I wonder, the Dennis Sands mix is cutting through really well, but is it too much? Let's try turning down the volume first before I, you know, tweak any microphone positions. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna move everything just a little bit back over here. And let's try a roomy sound. Okay, let's go with that for now. So if I was really, you know, going deep into this, I'd probably push it even further back into the room. I might even play with the ambient position. But anyway, let's keep going. So before I add any choir, let's finally add some percussion. And so to do that properly, let me bring these over because I want this simple swell to introduce everything. So I might use timpani. Let me bring that in. So we have Cineperc Timp. And this timpani is really cool because it comes with rolls and hits in one patch, just in different octaves. So let's bring in the cymbals as well. I'm definitely going to use this. Cinnabrass cymbals. And again, all on one patch. So I could do a swell and a hit in one and a crash together. Let it load a little bit. So like here, let's turn down the volume. Cinesample's libraries tend to be a little on the loud side when you get them, so just be sure to adjust the volumes as you play with them. That's a little tame on there, so why don't I bring up the modulation just a little bit. So if I'm starting at 1, let's bring it, let's see, what does it sound like? So it's a little bit tame, right? So, oops. Okay, I guess I have to do it from here then. That's fine. And maybe just a little bit like that. There we go. And now just to really introduce everything, I'm going to do a crash. There we go. One more time. Get that crash in time. Quantize, perfect. And I do need some low hits, so why don't I use a bass drum here? CB, oops, this is not CB, CP. Bass drum, and then up here, I should make this Cine Perc. There we go. Go to the bass drum first. Let's turn that down just a touch. Okay. And for that extra little bit of cinematic feel, let us put in tubular bells. This is like my guilty pleasure. Ever since I watched Mike Patty's City Symphony Light video where he used this sound, and I was like, what is that sound? And then I found it. Let's turn that down a little bit. Oh, I didn't even record it. Sorry. Smart. There we go. And that's still a little bit loud because I'm imagining the tubular bells further back in the room. Not bad. And you know what? I could shift this a little earlier, actually. There we go. All right. Let's move on now. So we have the intro, roughly. Oh, you know what? Let's do a little bit of a timpani roll. So there it is. First, I'm going to record the timpani roll by itself, and then I'll add in the modulation, okay? The reason is just because it's a little bit unwieldy for me at the moment to do this at the same time as I have the microphone in the way. But that's okay. There you go. Let's start with that a little bit less. And as it comes in, I'm going to go with a really nice timpani hit as the strings come in on the same note, so D flat in this case. There we go. Now we get this big impact. So again, I'm going to do that. All right, and finally, let's put in some choir. So, all right, let's do this. Here we go. Maybe I'll do the modulation and the bass part first. So let's try that. There we go. Super cinematic. And then let's add the let's add in a line to echo the trumpet. we go. And now I need some meaty strings to beefing up this arrangement here. So let's go back to the arcs, and let's use arc 3 this time. So and this is a patch I use all the time, the low string staccatissimo, especially for anything cinematic. That's kind of my go-to. So I'm gonna write here arc 3 short low strings. So maybe I'll just start on F for now, as just to establish that tonal center. So let's move these back just a little bit. And because it does take the note a little bit of time just to speak, so I just want to make sure it has that time to do so. Ooh, okay, I have an idea. At the end, I want to go up a little bit. So load that, make that quantized. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. And then pull that back a little bit. There we go. Let's hear that. There you go. And then we can copy this, do it again, but this time, and you know I like to do this. And so I can reestablish the dominant feel and then go back up to the tonic. So we can take these two, join them, and then loop them, at least for a little bit here. So let's just go to about that much. Cool. Something seems like it's lagging at the very end. It sounds like this A flat's a bit early. Wonder if I can nudge it just a touch later so it doesn't feel like the B flat is coming late after that. And then I'll do the same thing here. Dun, dun. Move that just back a touch. There we go. Oh, I think another thing is that this has to be a little stronger. Dun, dun. And then this has to be a little lighter because that's the downbeat. Make that a bit more. This one a little less. Let's see. It's a little better. And anything else? Lessen this one a little bit. Same thing here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so we can take this loop now, join those together, and then loop this one just a little bit. Okay, here we go. So let's hear from the beginning one more time. Put a little more tubular bells here. Make sure it's quantized, or at least a little closer to the beat. Ooh, that's still a bit early, so let's just quantize that completely. Dun, 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 dun. Let's do that. See what that would sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if I wanted to be super picky about this, I might actually go into the individual sections, and the reason for that is because you can actually draw in, or I should say drag in staccato syllables for the ones that you want even shorter. I think for the performance patch, you don't actually have the option to choose staccato syllables. But you know what? You know what? Let me do that actually. Let's do it, because let's pull in the woman. It'll be worth the effort. So, what kind of syllables do I want? Now the syllable builder is kind of where this comes in. So let me just write this in: storm choir, woman melody. Okay. Be da be da. That's fine. Be da dun be da dun 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 chlora. Actually, and the glow, because I want this one to be staccato, so I'm going to hold shift and then press the glow. There we go. Glora. And there we go. So as soon as I hold shift, now those are staccatos. And there we go. So let's see what that sounds like. So let me start back from this one here, and this should be C1. So now I can start back from be. Here we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make this Dorn. Make this one a, let's make that a staccato as well. So do I have to delete that first? Okay. And then here, let me, you know what? I'm just going to do this again. Dun, Dorn, and then glow. Oops, Dorn. And then go to the next one, glow, and then the next one, ra. There we go. So, okay, let's try this out. And then I might repeat this phrase. So what I'm gonna do is press the key switch as soon as I get there again, and just make sure it starts back from be again. Okay. That's fine. There we go. So here I'll start from there. Make sure I have the key switch as well. So I'm going to bring this down here, all the way down to, I think it's, let's do a C1. There we go. I should start this a little bit after. A little shorter. This should be a little bit before to trigger early, then I can have this on the beat. Okay, let me see if we can start this again. Let's make sure this key switch. Right. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm going to pull that forward a little bit there. Dun, 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 dun. Make this short, make this short. Do. Dun, dun. And these are going to be staccato anyway. Make this one short again. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Let's try that. Not sure why it's why this key switch is not really making a start back from the B, but am I on the wrong key switch? I don't think so. It's fine. Maybe I'll just click it. There we go. And then we can take the second half, making sure it starts on the beat there. Oops. Here we go. And let's rate this up an octave to make it even more cinematic the second time. Okay, and then I'll just have to do this. Sorry about that. Now I've realized what I was doing. I was doing C1 as the key switch instead of C0. So these could be a little bit before the beat as well. And then this key switch should be at C0. There we go. All right, so let's move on. So I'm relatively happy with what this melody sounds like there. And then let's add in some percussion to fill this in a little bit. I'm going to go back to Arc 3, and I'm actually going to pull in a low drum ensemble here. So this is one of those libraries that can really just give you a great sound out of the box, and it's a full orchestra, so dedicated to these types of this type of music, like really trailery type of things. So let's pull up the low drum ensemble 1. Go with what we're given here. So I'm going to Arc 3 low drums. All right, I decided to go with the toms instead. I did a pass with the low drum ensemble. It decided the tone wasn't really what I wanted. So let's just go with the toms instead. So here we go. Go. Give this a quick quantize. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little better. So let me just bring these over just a little bit here. What, it actually sounds pretty good on the beat, so if I don't really need to bring them too much further back. Bring this over, that's a little too early. Spread this out, there we go. Here. Dun, dun, dun. Let's bring this over first. Kind of the same idea, just doing some cleanup, Bring that whole thing over a little bit. There we go. And let's see, this one, well, you can already tell looks a little strange, so there we go. Okay, there we go. So that is the toms section. Let me just have a quick listen to see what we're missing here. Okay, definitely need the cymbals there, so let's bring that in here. Ooh, what happened there? Okay. So, this one's just a little bit late. Now I'm starting to hear it come together a little more. So now we have these cymbals again. Pull that in. Let's bring in the bass drum as well to emphasize the downbeat. Let's bring in the timpani again to have this roll, or at least the downbeat. Okay, and then let me add in a roll here. Just make that grow. So let's bring this in. So start from kind of like 9, grow all the way up there. Definitely missing some instrumentation here. So let's add a few more things here. And then after this section, right, I'll probably just end it off with, you know, a couple chords or something. Let's find out. So let's have some high strings as well. Single articulations, orchestral sections, high strings staccatissimo. So arc 3 high, short high strings. Let's see. Kind of a simple ostinato. And another tubular bells hit there. And then let me add some horns here. Let's have a little bit of a swell. Actually, I need to start a little bit more than that. I was thinking of maybe like a forte piano, so maybe I'll start like that. A little too much there. Let's try that. You know what? I kind of like it better starting quiet. That's fine. Add in one more there. Let's see what we get. So let's go from the beginning, actually. Now I wish, you know what? Let's do this. So let's make those staccato. Actually, I totally forgot I could actually do this. So let's see if this makes it any better with the solo vocal line here. Yeah, so now suddenly a lot more active. I like this a lot more. And I would love some harmony with it as well. So let's copy. And instead of making it too harmonic, let's go with something a little more open. So let's go with some perfect intervals. So fourths, fifths, maybe octaves. We'll see. Ooh, that's actually pretty cool already. Let's see. No, you're not allowed to cheat, ladies. You're too early. Nice. So actually now I feel like I can quantize it properly. Let's see. Something like that, you know. So this feels like the start of some kind of intense boss battle theme or something. So yeah, and then I'm just trying to think here. So we're definitely missing some instrumentation. What else could I add? So we're missing some high stuff, which we already have with the strings here, but I think I could do even more. Let's add in another ostinato thing here. So let's do a flatus, and we'll find some maybe spiccato here. Let's see what this sounds like. That's fine, that's good. Violin short. Oops. Okay, now I think I know my ostinato. Okay. I thought I was recording, I guess not. Here we go. Go. Okay, yep. There they are. There we go. And then, you know what else I need? I need a sustained texture. So I'm gonna put in horns, I'm gonna put in a couple more strings, and then we'll basically be pretty much done here. Maybe I'll add another chord at the end just to finish it off. So let's go with arc 1 again here, and we'll go with the high strings, and we'll just choose a high sustains 8 VA here. And look, we're pretty much almost done using all our MIDI tracks too. So arc 1 high sustain violins. Ooh, not pitch bend. Sorry. There we go. You know what? Just because I can, let's use legato instead so I won't risk any smearing. All right. and the volume I know is quite loud, so I'm going to bring it down a touch here. You know what? I'm going to change the rhythm just a little bit. There we go. So it kind of sounds a little bit bare on its own, but let's add in some horns now for some extra sustain. And then, you know what? Let me bring in this crescendo again. Go. Okay, now it's sounding a lot more rich. Okay, big jump there, which I did not want. So let me pull this up, and then suddenly this should be back down. We could even just keep this entire thing a little bit higher. So kind of like this, you know, maybe a little bit of crescendo. So a bit of a swell here, and then maybe maintain it just a little bit like that. You know what? Instead of this C, let's just drag this one over, just like that. That should not have been A flat major. That's in F there instead. And let me bring this over a little more. One more time, of course, the cymbal swell, because we always need an impact, you know. Oops. And then we'll do, just to finish it off, let's do a nice little short thing here. So we have the violins doing their, oops, sorry. They have the violins doing their attack. Then we have the Arc 3 strings doing the exact same thing. There we go. And let's just finish off with a strong interval, strong accent on the women. Just like that. Quantize that. And then finally one more tubular bells hit there. Oops, sorry. Did not click the right track. There we go. And anything else? And let's do the bass drum. Just why not, right? This is our final moment. Let's bring that in. And I don't think I need the trumpets anymore because they're more legato. If I was to do more of an ostinato thing, I'd probably use the articulations patch from Cinebreast. So for more of a staccato touch. And you know what? Let's fill this in just a little more in the first half of this verse, you can call it, with some Storm Choir Ultimate for some pad effect. So let's add this in as we listen to this final time. There we go. There's a little extra impact. I didn't really like the staccato thing I did here, so I just wanted a bit of a swell, and that's pretty much it. And then the men come underneath with their little sinister line. More legato. Now they can see, so at the final thing, that's like the ultimate hook, so I wanted to double that in octaves. And then pads. And there we go. I think that's basically the amount of detail I wanted to go into for this in order to get a fuller cohesive sound. But the ultimate performance patch is very, very useful just to get the woman and men choir working together very quickly and for them to sing the same syllables. That's also very helpful, you know? And you're not overloaded with choice. You have a certain number of syllables you can use. And I love that they give you these different options. So the normal, divided, and in octaves. Normal just seems to work best especially when you're sketching, because you don't really need that separation and level of control, whereas you might if you're writing individual choral parts, for example, right? And again, I don't think you can pull in staccato syllables for here, so that's why I pulled in a separate woman's syllable builder patch with some dedicated staccato syllables in there. And then the rest, yeah, it's really just arranging things. So making sure we have the frequency spectrum covered from low strings and the horns kind of in the middle, just to provide some body. Trumpet, of course, more of at the top. Then the percussion is more low percussion. We have the non-tonal percussion in the cymbals and the bass drum. Tubular bells is tonal, of course, so that gives that like final destination type of feel to it, which I love. Low string staccatissimo just for a rhythmic bed there. And again, the toms just for some rhythmic drive. High strings in afflatus and arc 3, was it? Or was it staccatissimo? I guess that's arc 3, yeah. And then here, high legato AV8 in arc 1 just to finish it all off. So yeah, most of it's arcs, a little bit of afflatus, and then the storm choir just to take the melody itself. So yeah, there it is. That's kind of a short, very short trailer cue. Just using, less than 15 MIDI tracks again. I like to make that a challenge to myself if I'm not going for a full-fleshed orchestral cue where I'm basically unlimited. For these types of videos, of course, I want to keep them under an hour, which I'm almost at an hour, which I apologize for. But yeah, I wanted to keep it as a challenge to keep it within 15 MIDI tracks and create a full sound within there. So you can see how much you can do within 15 tracks, and just by using libraries that come with great sounding instruments out of the box, you can get some good results in not too long of a time. So thank you so much for watching. I know that was a longer video and I really appreciate it, but if you notice the theme for the past few videos, creating a track from scratch, it's really just been trying to be efficient and not really worrying too much about these smaller details. The workflow should always be to work first, get your ideas down, make sure the arrangement is full and everything, and then tweak later if you need to really get the best out of those performances. In these videos, I'm not really tweaking because that could take hours, that could take a long time. I just focused on getting the velocities right, the timing, so making sure I quantized it properly, not 100% all the time, making sure it felt natural, and then of course making sure that if something felt empty, I kind of analyzed in my head, is it missing high end, is it missing low end or middle end, or the middle register. So then you look at the instruments accordingly and say which ones play which role. So I went with the choir to fill in the mid-range as well as the horns, which had that really full sound to it. And the string short ostinati for the top there, just to give it some sparkle. So yeah, it's all about the arrangement. Don't worry too much about the mix yet until you're happy with the arrangement. This is something that's very, very important. So make sure you get it right in the arrangement and the production first. Super, super crucial. So yes, thank you so much for watching. That is it for this video. Download the free guide in the description box below. Getting the best out of your orchestral sounds, 10 easy steps, and you'll be on your way. So thank you so much for watching. That is the Storm Choir Ultimate, and I will see you in next week's video. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.